In a story that could reshape India's automobile market and global trade ties, the European Union is pushing India to completely eliminate its import tariffs on cars, according to Reuters. Sources tell Reuters that the Modi government is seriously considering the proposal with the plan to slash duties from the current 100% to as low as 10%. This push comes as part of long pending trade negotiations between the EU and India. According to two industry insiders and one senior government official, New Delhi is open to gradually phasing down car import tariffs to 10%. The move would significantly open up the Indian market to European car makers like Volkswagen and Mercedes Benz. However, the idea hasn't gone down well with Indian automakers. Domestic giants like Tata Motors and Mahindra have lobbied hard to retain at least 30% tariff, warning that lower import duties could hurt their investments in local manufacturing. They're also calling for no changes to EV import tariffs for at least 4 more years to protect the nascent electric vehicle ecosystem in India. The timing is crucial. The latest demand from the EU comes just weeks after US President Donald Trump's administration pushed for similar concessions during bilateral trade talks with India. That effort included demands for zero tariffs on electric vehicles, potentially giving a leg up to Tesla, which plans to start importing EVs into India this year, likely from its Berlin factory. Sources say the EU has returned to the negotiating table seeking a better deal, and the Modi government is keen to make an improved offer. India's Commerce Ministry shared these developments with officials from the Heavy Industries Ministry and representatives of the auto industry in a closed door meeting last week, according to reports. While the European Commission declined to comment on specifics, a spokesperson acknowledged the divergence in approach between the two sides. For many of the key areas, the EU and India have different objectives, which in some cases leads to different levels of ambition, said Olaf Gill, spokesperson for the Commission's Trade Office. India's Commerce Ministry and the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers have yet to respond publicly. India's car market, producing nearly 4 million vehicles a year, remains one of the most protected globally. Tariff cuts would dramatically shift market dynamics. Domestic car makers argue that cheaper imports could erode demand for locally made cars and discourage manufacturing investments. In a counter proposal to the US, Indian car makers had earlier suggested lowering tariffs only on a limited number of petrol cars, starting with a cut to 70% from over 100% and gradually dropping it to 30%. On EVs, they proposed no change until 2029, followed by a phased cut down to 30% on limited volumes. Analysts believe both India and the EU may soften positions to avoid a global trade war, especially in the face of Trump's aggressive trade policies. The EU and India had earlier committed to wrapping up a trade agreement by the end of 2025. European Council President Antonio Costa recently posted on X urging the bloc to decisively advance negotiations with India. An industry insider summed it up. If the EU is now feeling pressure to strike a deal with India, we need to see how we can capitalize on that. It's all about leverage. Will India take the plunge and open its door wider to European cars? Or will it protect its local industry at the cost of international partnerships? We will keep tracking this high stakes negotiation. Stay tuned for more updates.